Hello everyone, I'm Rodin, and I will be discussing the new player experience in Albion Online. We often get bombarded with content, reviews, and let's plays of a game shortly after release. However, we very seldom get word on how a game actually performs within the first hour or so after logging on. This is really the best kind of input and deciding factor for whether to commit to any kind of game. Albion Online is a new sandbox MMORPG that released this week. As a player during the early beta and Founders Pack days, I'm very glad to see that it has finally reached a state of a proper launch. During my time in early beta, there wasn't much of a tutorial or new player experience to speak of. Even then, the mechanics were simple enough that it did not take much effort to simply teach new players how to move about and which commands did what. With that said, I'm very happy to see that further development of this crucial part of the experience was addressed and polished. Currently, you can only join the game by buying a starter pack that comes in 3 varieties: Veteran, Epic, and Legendary. Each tier grants instant access, Gold, Premium status, and varying special items depending on the tier. Although technically I'm not a new player to the game, I still place great value in the new player experience. The various features, graphics, and well-crafted worlds will mean nothing if the developers cannot properly introduce players to the game in a way that is both instructional and entertaining. Albion's new player experience did very well to do all of these things to prepare you to dedicate some time in their vast new world. What was it about the first hour into the game that motivates you to continue playing? The experience was not overwhelming. The tutorial quests were well paced and built upon each other. From my experience, this is quite the opposite from the tutorial sections that I played from recent games, not just MMORPGs, but various genres as well. Getting this part of the experience wrong can very quickly turn off potential players. Although well-meaning, putting too much information in too small of a time frame, regardless of how applicable it actually is, can deter from the mission of educating and immersing the player. The tutorial rewards were not just useful, but vital to your progression. I've experienced tutorials in the past where the rewards were paid out through simple in-game currency. That was not the case in Albion. Predominantly, the rewards were items that you were tasked to craft yourself. This enforced the value of crafting and self-sufficiency. The new player experience promoted a core concept of any self-advertised sandbox MMORPG: the value and consequence of choice. Besides teaching mechanics and how to use the interface, the game puts before you important choices that will shape your experience. During this part, I was faced with the decision of which weapon to craft. Having already crafted several items at this point, this particular exercise wasn't actually about crafting, but rather about which gameplay style I want to adopt. This introduced one of the fundamental aspects of the game. You are what you wear, and you are what you wield. Overall, I think the way this information was presented was pretty clever. It was refreshing to go through a well-presented new player experience. Far too often, the developers neglect this part of the game and end up costing them new players. I've enjoyed the launch so far, and I'm currently working on doing something different compared to how I was playing in early beta. Slowly but surely, a lot of my friends from other games are trying out Albion, and I hope to be able to play with everybody soon. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and hope to see you all in game.